Hi everyone, my name's Kariselle. So I'm here getting ready for Stagecoach. I already did moisturizer and bronzing drops to help match my self-tan. And then I'm gonna go in with e.l.f. for priming. e.l.f. is my absolute favorite when it comes to priming. So I am actually gonna do the face primer first because I like to let that sit a little longer. All right, and then I love, what is it called? It's the Power Grip Primer. I love it because it gets like a little sticky, so I feel like it really keeps your makeup on all day, and we're really gonna need that because it is 9 a.m. right now, and I'm gonna be out until like 1 a.m., and so I need this to last me. Something a lot of people don't know about me is that I am actually a licensed esthetician, and I originally went to school for makeup and hair, so I'm technically a hair and makeup artist, or I was 10 years ago, and I never did anything with it, but you know what? Maybe one day I will. All right, now that we have that being primed, I like to go in again with e.l.f. They're one of my favorite makeup brands. The Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I'm mostly gonna use this to kind of give me more of that glow, and because I feel like it just matches my self-tan. A little beauty hack that, if you're not aware, is when you self-tan, don't do your face because it'll just make your makeup look a little gunky, like once it starts fading. All right, so I usually will just like kind of put it here, and then a little here, here. Oh, and also, I know I just said that I went to school to be a makeup artist. That was 10 years ago, so my techniques are not professional by any means. So if this is not right, don't judge me for it. All right, and then I'm just gonna take this Makeup by Mario brush and kind of blend that in. I go really light on the Halo Glow because I'm gonna go back in with the NARS foundation. This is mostly just to give me like a little glow and make my face match my skin a little better. Now I'm gonna go in with the NARS. I think this is the Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is in the shade Custard. Usually I like to have a little bit more of a full coverage concealer, but because I'm gonna be in the sun, and also I'm gonna be a little less strict on my eyes today just because I'm gonna be wearing sunglasses the majority of the day, so I'm gonna have to fix my eyes anyway. And then I'll go with the other end of that brush just to kind of fill in the concealer. I just washed my brushes, so they're still like kind of wet, so I'm actually gonna use the other side for this. I'm gonna start my day at Stagecoach at the Revolve gifting suite. I'm so excited for that. I have not been. This is actually my first time at Stagecoach too, so I'm so excited for all the surrounding events. I know they're just as fun as the actual festival. And then I am gonna go in with some contour. My contour, I feel like, is the one that I usually use is like on its last leg. So I'm gonna be going in with the Rare Beauty. I like to just, usually in a perfect world, I would put it directly on my brush and then buff it in, but I really want to kind of go for that like really contoured kind of effect, so I'm just going to draw it right on and blend from there. I really like this product, but I feel like if your skincare is not slapping, it will kind of separate, so you definitely want to make sure that you prep your skin before you use this contour stick. That's also a really good habit to be in. You should always be prepping your skin very well. All right, and then I'm just gonna buff this all in. Again, the technique I'm using is by no means professional now I'm blending it in, but I just kind of feel the vibes to make sure it's all blended and not streaky. Again, in a perfect world, I would put the stick directly on the brush and then buff it. But I do want a little bit more of like the dramatic lines. I know that's really bad, but I like to look like snatched. Especially if I'm gonna be sweating a lot of it off, I wanna make sure it's like really in my contour spots. All right, now I'm gonna go in with some blush. I'm trying to decide if I wanna use, but you know what, because I'm still on Rare Beauty, I always like to, when I'm doing something like when I'm doing something on my face as far as like contour, blush, I always kind of like to use the same products because I feel like they're created to blend well with each other. So I'm gonna go in with the Rare Beauty blush. Usually I will use the Dibs blush stick and contour stick, but today we're feeling a little crazy. We're gonna try a little something new, and I do love this blush a lot, but it definitely a little goes a long way, so I'm gonna remember that putting it on because sometimes I will have such a pink face with this. All right, this is a concealer brush, but I'm actually gonna use it for blush right now because it already has a blush stain, so I think that's the most productive thing to do right now. Let's see how this works. All right, again, a little goes a long way. I'm gonna put it right on the apple of my cheeks. I know a lot of people like to fake it by putting the contour up higher and then the blush up higher. I am kind of still in the decade ago technique where you just put everything directly on the apple of your cheeks and where the natural contour line is. So I'm gonna do that right here and right here. And then let's see how this blends. See what I mean when I say like such a little goes such a long way? I actually don't mind the concealer brush for this because I think it's actually giving me a lot more control. All right, see what I mean? A little goes such a long way. Okay, and now I'm gonna figure out what to do with highlight. I do really like the e.l.f. Halo Glow, but I feel like I might want to stick to powder just because of how hot it's gonna be. It might be a little better. And so then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take that same brush. I like kind of taking the residue from blushes to like blend into my highlighter just so it's more seamless. Or whenever I'm using a liquid highlighter and a liquid blush, I will sometimes blend a little bit of the blush into the highlighters to again get that seamlessness. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Just gonna go right in there. Oh, and this is Dandelion by Benefit. I'm just gonna tap that on there. And I feel like still having some of that pink on my blush or on my brush is making this blend like a little more cohesive, if that makes sense. I don't know, maybe it's just all in my head, but I think it does a huge difference. And then I'm gonna put a little bit on my nose too. I know you should wait until after nose contour, but I actually do it the opposite way. I know that's, again, don't take any professional advice from me because you're not supposed to do that. That's just what I like to do. And okay, so now that we got that on, I'm going to go in with my NARS. Okay, this is the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I'm gonna go in with my NARS. The Halo from e.l.f. I kind of use more as like a base, and then where I don't have contour, I'm going to put, so like right here, right here, right here, a little bit in this area because that is going to kind of make the look come a little bit more together. I think the Halo Glow is super natural, and that's great. I'm not a natural girl. I really like to kind of pack it on, so that's exactly what I'm gonna keep doing. All right, so this is how I do it. I will take 2 pumps and put on the back of my hand. I'm kind of running out of this, so I'm gonna do 3. And in a perfect world, I would have like something else to put the foundation on. I don't even know the name for it. And then I just go in on the back of my hand, blend it or warm it up, and then put it right here. That was a technique that I learned when I was in makeup school. I don't know if that's something that's still used, but that's just what I've been doing ever since because I just noticed such a difference. And again, I was running out of it, so I'm gonna do a little bit more for the other side. And then go right back in. And see how it's like really just kind of making that contour stand out and making my skin look a lot better. And then I'm just gonna take like the leftover from that onto the forehead. The forehead, I don't care as much about being like super matte or super high coverage. It's mostly like in these areas that I like to do that. So that's really where I'm focusing on. And then I'm gonna take the residue on the back of my hand to blend down to my neck. Make sure that's all seamless. And then if you look at that, see the difference it makes when you just add foundation over to that Halo Glow? It's just my favorite thing to do. And I even go over the chin contour down here because I feel like it just like really blends it all in. If you really wanted to be crazy and go heavy on the contour, blush, and highlight, you could even go right over that and to get more of that seamless look. But like I said, I like to pack it on. I like to look like I wear a lot of makeup, so that's kind of a bit more my style. Next thing would be, I'm actually use powder instead. I usually will use one or the other, and powder actually might be a little better just because it'll absorb a lot of the dewiness we put on, but also help last in the hot desert. So I'm gonna leave that there, and then I'm gonna go in with my eyebrows. So I know I said I'm keeping the eyes light. I'm actually not gonna do my eyes at all because I'm gonna be wearing sunglasses. I'm gonna do them later. And after Revolve Suite, they're gonna put eyelashes on us. So I'm gonna wait for that and then work my way around it. So here's I use the e.l.f. eyebrow pencil. I'm e.l.f.'s biggest fan. I've tried so many different high-end products and I come back to e.l.f. for so many things. And I really think that they're that girl. All right, just like a little light eyebrow there, a little fill in. My eyebrows are really light, which is so funny because I actually have really dark hair. I am not a natural blonde. My hair is actually really dark. A lot of people don't know that about me. I'm Italian, so my hair is like, if you know anything about hair, I'm a level 3. So yeah, it's definitely hard to bleach it too. Okay, now I'm gonna go with Huda Beauty. Little powder just to kind of set everything into place. I mostly only set right underneath the contour and like a little, and then I bring it up because I don't like to like fully erase the blend that I did. I'm gonna put it right up here too. All right, and then this is the face for day 1 of Stagecoach. The eyes will be done once the sun goes down, but this is what we got for now. And hopefully it lasts me from 9 to 1, and I think it will. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to JAMO on YouTube, and I will see you guys later.